The market for professional services change. Can you give some advice on what firms can do to prepare themselves for that change? You know, how they recover their value or increase their value?
There are two key elements to value, and that is growth and risk. In a perfect world, you want to grow as fast as you can at the lowest risk you can. Now, typically, the faster you grow, the higher the risk you have. So you're constantly battling back and forth. I'd much rather have a firm that grew 5% a year and their profit margin remained in a nice narrow bandwidth year in and year out. And it could be below market profit margin. It could be instead of a 12% earning before interest taxes margin, it could be 8%. But it's consistent from one year to the next. That, to me, has more value than a firm that has profit margin of 25% one year, 4% the next, 18, a loss, and they're growing like gangbusters. They don't have all the controls in place. You want consistency. Investors, and actually all of us, human beings, like certainty. We want to know, if we get up in the morning, turn on the light's going to turn on. We want certainty, and that's the same thing from an investment standpoint. So create certainty so that your employees, or more importantly, your shareholders in the firm can reasonably expect that every year that they invest $1 into the company, that they might see 15 cents back at the end of the year because there's a degree of certainty of money coming back to them. Firms can also look at creating the value of the employee skills. This is going back to what I was talking before. Is investing your employees in the three different categories of business development, operation, and technical. But what firms are starting to do now, and we've always fostered, is that firms that are so beholden and looking at evaluating their employees based on utilization is very important. It creates a lot of cash flow, but you also got to be mindful of there are some downside of utilization, is that you need your employees to be able to take time off to invest. And what I've seen in a lot of firms, the most successfully driven firms are those firms that have an unwritten rule where no one's ever allowed to go to a meeting by themselves. And there are a lot of, this happens more so at the smaller firms where, the owner or senior guys just go to a meeting with a client and they just go by themselves because they need their staff back at the office doing the work. It's very important to take your subordinates with you to those meetings so they can learn through that experience. The experience weighs more than just sitting around the table and talking about how to, relate to clients.
So the mentoring function is really one of accompanying the mentor, not just listening to the mentor.
Exactly. And so, and the preparation for transition, anticipating market demands. This is one thing I love about anticipating market demand. I had a client years ago that it seemed like every 5 to 7 years they were a different kind of an architecture firm. At one point they did airports. Another point they did jails. Another point they were doing continuing care retirement communities.
And that's because they were anticipating where the market was going?
They follow the people. The most effective business model in anything. You think about our economy. We're a consumer-driven economy. Follow the people. The largest demographics in the United States are what? The baby boomers. So follow where they may be going. They may be going to retirement communities. They may be going to hospitals. That's one reason why you're seeing a lot of growth. Now, there is an echo boomer, and these are the baby boomers' children and grandchildren that are coming up through the pipe. And you're seeing, and I can speak to Northern Virginia where the schools are being built like crazy left and right, or rehabbing or expanding because there's not enough, they don't have enough capacity to meet the needs of all the students coming in. So you follow the population will help you understand and anticipate the demand going forward.